Welcome back to Intro to Programming with C++. Today we're looking at arithmetic in C++, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. There's one more arithmetic operator, that's modulus, but we're going to save that for another video. So I want to look at how we can perform these. It's actually very straightforward. So here I have a little program. It's just going to add two numbers. Up here I'm using variables, but actually I'm not making use of those quite yet. You can do computations directly in a program in C++. I want to point this out. So you can, let me compile that and run it. You can do 5 plus 7 and print out the answer. We'll do the computation right there and tell me what the answer is. There's no quotes around that, so it didn't print out text. It didn't say 5 plus 7, it just said 12. Now, let's change that. 5 and 7 happen to be the values stored in A and B. You could do computations within a cout. They can also be their own line. But you can print it, do the computation. Let me compile it and run it again. Print it out to the screen, same thing. Now, computations can take place in other places as well. In addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, they work out about the same. You can do this, have one variable dependent on another. Keep in mind that the compiler will walk through the program line by line in order. So the order you put these lines in does matter. So what this does, I haven't talked about this equal sign here. This equal sign actually stores the value into A. And it goes from right to left. It always reads right to left. So 5 gets stored in A. 7 plus A is now 5, gets stored in B. So now B has 12, A has 5. So this should print out 5 plus 12. And it did, 17. Good. So you can do computations up here, you can do computations down there. They can include addition, subtraction, multiplication. Another strange thing you can do here is this. Let me go back to A is 5, B is 7. And now I'm going to do this. A equals B minus A. You can have variables be self-referential. They can refer back to themselves. This is not a math equation. This is assignment. So what happens here is the compiler will see B minus A. It'll do 7 minus 5, say the answer is 2, store that in A, and then go through this computation. 2 plus 7. It should print out 9. It does. Very good. One more thing I want to point out here with these computations is something strange. I keep saying that addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, they all work out about the same. There is an exception there. Division, you got to be careful with. Use a slash for division. Use an asterisk for multiplication if you ever need to do that. Okay, computation done. 7 divided by 5. 7 divided by 5, if you're keeping track here, that's 1 and 2/5. Should be 1.4, mathematically speaking. But I got an answer of 1. What happened? Where'd the 0.4 go? What happened is right here. We're doing an integer calculation. Integer calculation is dealing with whole numbers. It takes in whole numbers and it gives out answers of whole numbers. So 7 divided by 5 is 1.4, but it loses the 0.4. It loses everything after the decimal point. Something to be aware of. And it can get you caught, even if you're doing a computation up here. So let's make a change. Let's change this so that this will work. Change my data type to one that will accept decimals, double. Okay, so I got 1.4. Great. Now that should be the same thing as doing this computation over here. 7 divided by 5. No, it goes back to making the integer mistake, losing everything after the 0. Not necessarily a mistake if you're aware of what's going on. What it sees here is one integer and another integer, and it does an integer calculation on that, which means it loses everything after the decimal point. So to be aware of that, if I want to keep track of all the decimal values, the floating point values, even if I'm doing the straight literal calculation, not using the variables, I need to let the compiler know that I want a decimal point. How do I do that? I put a decimal point in one of my numbers. Okay, so that's addition, subtraction, multiplication. As I said, multiplication is an asterisk. So you can do that. And division. They all work out, well, about how you think they should. You can use numbers, you can use variables, you can use combinations of both.